Hey, what's up, everybody? I have written a lot of things. If you want the links to them, I wrote them all on Medium, and I will share the links to them. I'll try to make a post after this video. But I had a question earlier about uh, cold storage. I mentioned it to a new member. He was like, "What do you do with the Bitcoin you accumulate, or what do you do in your you know what I mean, whenever you get enough Bitcoin and you don't want it on the exchange necessarily anymore." Well, that's not the way he worded it, but that's the way I'm wording it. If you have an accumulation of Bitcoin, let's say you put in $200 and you get up to 1,000, great, that's awesome. Do you want to necessarily leave that on an exchange? Because if you do, there's always uh, the chance that you will get hacked because it's hot on an exchange. It's connected to the internet, which means there's always a risk. If it's on an exchange, there's a risk. There's no way around it. Okay. So even if you have the best security, like two-factor authentication or whatever, you still have a better chance with other methods, and that's what we're going to discuss today. Things like cold storage, things like two-factor authentication, like I mentioned just a minute ago. All of this stuff is very important, and cryptocurrency and security go hand in hand, guys. You don't want to. A lot of people, it's unfortunate, okay? A lot of people let security take a back burner until they get hit. Like a SIM hack. A SIM hack is when a hacker calls the AT&T or whatever your cell phone service is and says, "Hello, I'm so and so. My phone got lost. I need to change the SIM card to this phone." And they say, "Okay, we'll do it for you." And sometimes they don't ask any questions. Bada bing, bada boom. There's your phone number. They get all your information through a little, through little ways. They could say, "Hey, I lost my Gmail account and I'm trying to recover the account information. Here's my phone number." A lot of times, that's all they need is a few bits of information, and bam, they got all your info. They start taking your crypto, and before you know it, you're just because you didn't take that extra step in security, you're getting eaten alive. And I know some of my friends, they got a sim. One of my friends got sim hacked. He lost six figures. That is a lot of money to lose. So if you don't want to be that guy, listen to this video and pay attention, because I'm going to go over some things that will help you and will prevent you from becoming a victim. And, there's many ways you can do this. We can go about it, but I'm going to go over a few things. I've written a lot of things about cryptocurrency security. I think I have three write-ups about it. But I opened them up just because I don't have anything else to go over. It's not like we're talking about charts today. I'm doing this specifically to help you guys. This is just sort of a new thing I'm going to try out. My cat will not stop meowing. I'm sorry if he's bugging you guys, but she's in heat, I think. But she keeps meowing, and it's so annoying. But anyways, the Bitcoin has been climbing, and you know what happens when that happens? The scammers come out of the woodwork. They come out from underneath the cow patties, and they start messing around with all the noobs, because a lot of noobs come out and they're not aware of all these scams, and that's unfortunate because a lot of them fall for it. And I've spoken with a lot of people that have fallen for them over the years, and it's unfortunate that they don't ask questions until after it's too late. And anyways, the hold on one second, guys. Alrighty, back to the cryptocurrency and security. Okay, so first things first, what is the way you can protect yourself? You have to think about that, because there are ways to increase security without necessarily using cold storage. You can use something called two-factor authentication. Alright, so two-factor authentication is something like they have a few different methods. The cell phone method is not the best way. It's like where Coinbase will send you a text with a code, and you'd use that code to log in with. So let's say you're logging in, you put your password in, and then after that it says, okay, we're sending you a text, and you're going to have to enter that. So it's just that extra security. It makes sure you have the phone that's tied to that account, which is good. But if somebody sim hacks you, it's just as bad. It's just as easy. You know what I mean? That's what I was talking about earlier. You don't want to rely on that because that's not very secure. At least we figured that out over time. It used to feel like it was secure. People thought it was secure, but it turns out it's not. So the best way to do it is a different type of two-factor authentication, which you can download to a certain device. What I did was I used an old phone. I downloaded it to a phone that I don't use anymore. That way it's not tied to a phone number, so nobody can sim hack that phone because there's no phone number attached to it. So that's one plus. And second of all, since it's tied to that phone, I have to use that phone to get into that account. You know what I mean? So like if somebody wants to break into my account, they have to steal that phone. And then in order to get into that phone, you have to have the code to get into it. So, there's all sorts of safeguards I put up to prevent people from getting in that 2FA, but eventually they possibly could, you know what I mean? And that's where cold storage comes into play. Do you want to rely on something that's simply passwords? Because it will probably work, but do you want to be able to sleep at night knowing I don't have to worry about this? I have cold storage, okay? So cold storage is even the step further than two-factor authentication. Two-factor authentication is very safe. It's very secure. But it's not as secure as cold storage. Cold storage is a little device. I'd say it's about the size of a Matchbox car. I'm just trying to find something comparison. The one I have is even smaller than that. But it plugs into a USB port on your computer, and once you plug it in, it pulls up some software, and it's sort of like a website, I guess, and it'll tell you, hey, enter your password, and we'll pull up your wallet info, and that's how you get access to your coins. If you don't have that wallet, you can't access your coins. You know what I mean? So in essence, you're taking your coins off the net and putting them on that device, and that's the most secure thing you can do with it, because it's always on you or wherever you want to hide it, in a safe, in underground, in your mom's kitchen, whatever. You know what I mean? You can hide it wherever you want. But the thing about it is storing it offline is secure, because when you store it online on an exchange, let me tell you something, at least 90% of every exchange out there has been hacked in one way, shape, or form. And I'd say more than that, but I'm just trying to be conservative here. I was talking to Ash about it, and Ash was telling me it's so unsecure. You just never know. And a place like Binance, they insure your deposits and your money, so I think you get it back. But that doesn't make it any, that doesn't make me sleep well at night, you know what I mean? You don't want to have 6 figures sitting on there if you're only trading with $2,000. You know what I mean? Why do that? Why not use that extra step of security? Why not go all the way to as far as you can go? And that's where cold storage comes in. Put that 98 grand into cold storage. You could put $1 billion into cold storage, something the size of a micro machine or whatever. And you could put it under your bed or whatever, and you have $1 billion there. You know what I mean? And tell me what other device can do that. Then you can access it, do whatever you want with it. You know what I mean? It's immediate. It's not like you have to wait any time. It's a very secure and but easy to access device. You know what I mean? You plug it into a USB, plug in your password. Hey, and even if, let's say, somebody were to steal it, thinking I can get his money, they can't get it unless they use your password. And you can make that password a whole paragraph. You know what I mean? Like, you could type an entire music, like a sonata, or a whole paragraph, or whatever, of a book, or whatever. And people would have to spend literally years of their life to figure that out. And there was no way, you know what I mean? It would never happen. Especially if you used uppercase and lowercase. But you have to consider, how hard do you want to make it for them? I know on mine, I made it over 17, or it's about 16 or 17 words that I mean, that's the only info I'm giving you. But it's not. They're not random words. It's like a sentence. It's something easier for me to understand. But it's a very secure password, and it's stuff like that. You can make it so secure that if somebody does steal it, there's no way they're gonna break into it. First of all, second of all, they give you this 24-word seed, and you have to write that down. Okay, that's the most important thing I'm telling you this entire video. Write that seed down. It's like 24 words. They're random words. It could be like lift, talk, run, pull. You know what I mean? And it'll be like words like that. And it'll be random words, and you write every one of them down in order, the way it says, and keep it like that, and hide those in your safe. You know what I mean? And if you do that, and somebody steals let's say they find your cold storage, and they're like, I'm gonna steal his Bitcoin. They will never get it because your password is very good. Okay, but second of all, you can also reclaim your Bitcoin by buying another cold storage, logging into it, putting in your info, and using that 24-word seed. Once you use that 24-word seed, it takes the Bitcoin that was on yours and puts it onto the new device. And that's a way you can recover it without having to worry about that guy that just stole it thinking he was going to walk away with $1 billion. He's not going to get anything. That's how secure that stuff is. So that's why I would suggest using cold storage. It's a win-win. There's no way around it, guys. And I have a personal preference called Bitbox. It was made by a guy that's in the group CCT, the group by Mod, and he's just a small time outfit. He made these devices though, and he's trying to make it with them, and I want to support the smaller guy. And I only store it in Bitcoin. I don't store in other coins. I'm not sure if it even holds other coins. I had to ask him, but I know it holds Bitcoin just fine, and that's where I've been storing my Bitcoin for ages. And it's very secure. It's just like a ledger. It has a very long and absurd password that would be almost impossible for a human to break, and unless they knew it, they had to hold a gun to my head, so it's just one of those things that I really am a fan of cold storage. Over the years I've learned things, and cold storage is probably the most important thing you could do. When you take those wins, you get that $200, you get up to $1,000. You want to take $800. You want to take your principal plus some profit out to put it in long-term savings. You know what I mean? And how do you want to store it? I mean, you could probably get a ledger, and a ledger could probably store it in USDT or whatever, the stable coin, and you can store it that way if you want. But I don't suggest that. US dollar inflates. Why not store it in something that's possibly going to go up? Something like Bitcoin. That's where I store. That's how I do it. But I can't tell you what to do. If you feel more secure storing it in the US dollar, more power to you. You know what I mean? Especially if you're making money. Who am I to say you're wrong? So, long story short, do whatever makes you sleep better at night. Don't do what I think. It's just the way I look at it, I store it in Bitcoin. I enjoy having Bitcoin in my cold storage. The more the better. It's all about stacking sats for me. I don't care if the price goes down. I always am thinking Bitcoin will go back up eventually, and I haven't been wrong yet. When hasn't Bitcoin bounced back? So that was what Todd always said, and it's true. It has never not bounced back. It's always bounced back. So what do we have to lose here? At least until we fall flat on our face, I suppose. But that could happen. I mean, I'm not saying it can't, but we need to be prepared for anything, and at least security-wise, be prepared before something happens. Don't be that guy that says, I'm not worried about security until it hits you, and then you come up to me, Tim, I got robbed, who can I call? I can't help you after that. The best way to do it is be preemptive about it. Use cold storage. Use two-factor authentication. Use security. Come on my Medium and read some of these things. I have it pulled up right now. I could read through it, the whole thing, but I don't want to see. Look, right here. All that happened because I didn't write the 24-word seed. Once you get the code, write the seed down and put it up somewhere safe. I repeat, write the seed down and put it up somewhere safe. Write the seed down and put it up somewhere safe. 24 words is usually what it is. It may be a different amount, but you need to write it down. It's important, guys. Super important. If you don't do it and you lose your device, it's over. You lost your Bitcoin. Unless you have that 24-word seed. You know, I've written mine down. It's hidden. And if my device gets lost, I know I can recover my Bitcoin very simply. You know what I mean? And that 24-word seed is just as hard to guess as that sentence, those few sentences I have as a password are, because the 24-word seed is random. They're not even a sentence. It's like lift, talk, run, pull, swim. You know what I mean? It's like random words you wouldn't even think. So it's really hard to guess it, you know what I mean? That's why they do it, and it's just one of those things, guys, that I can't recommend security enough. You need to pay attention to it. You need to be ready for it. There's a bunch of people in this industry that are smart with computers. They will send you emails that say, hey, I need you to change your password. Somebody's trying to hack, and it's all a scam. Don't listen to them. Anything like that, guys, you have to take it with a grain. Don't trust anyone in this business. I don't care if the email looks legit. It may be a exclamation point instead of an I. You know what I mean? Or it may be some European letter that we don't even see in America that they typed in the middle of an English word. You know what I mean? It's one of those things that, man, they could really trick you sometimes with those URLs and stuff. Make you think, oh, this is Binance, but Binance would never ask you to change your password like that. So you need to pay attention to things like that, guys. Be vigilant. Always assume somebody's trying to scam you. Don't ever assume this email's legit. The first thing you say whenever you look at it, you know what I mean? Always assume it's a scam. But I wanted to go over security a little bit. Cold storage is the best way to store Bitcoin long term. There's also one other way, and I will cover it quickly because it's not that I don't recommend it because it's not as accessible, but I guess it could be considered a little safer supposedly. So it depends on what you do. Alright, so people have a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of Litecoin, and since the beginning of Coinbase. And a lot of those people accumulated like on the forks. Like if you had 100 Bitcoin, you got 100 Bitcoin cash. And that's how the forks worked. You automatically got free Bitcoin cash if you had Bitcoin sitting in your wallet. So a lot of these people accumulated a lot of money on Bitcoin. On Coinbase. Long story short, they needed somewhere to store it long term. And instead of Coinbase losing the money, they wanted to think of some way they could keep the people from moving it to cold storage. Like I told you, that's safe. So people were thinking, well, I'm going to move my Bitcoin into cold storage, and that means they're going to take it away from Coinbase and put it in their cold storage, which means it would come out of basically Coinbase would not see any gains from it or anything. You know what I mean? Anything from holding the money for you. So long story short, they created a thing called the Coinbase Vault. And it's something where it's very safe. If you store your Bitcoin in there, it will be safe. Don't get me wrong. It's probably one of the safest places online you could store it because it's like a virtual cold storage. If you do try to get Bitcoin out of there, you have to answer a bunch of questions that are like you have to set questions before you do it, and it's like a bunch of questions. You enter a password, and then you have to. Also, you have to wait like 3 days, and they send you like an email every day, and it's like it's weird. I don't understand, but it's a very, very strenuous process. And if you fail anything, you have to start over or whatever. So it's one of those things that it's if you want to store your Bitcoin like that, it's pretty safe, I suppose. But there's better ways, I think. Cold storage is better. Hell, you could bury that in your backyard, and nobody ever know where it was, you know. But hey, whatever floats your boat. I think the Coinbase wallet method is intriguing. I know people that use it, but it takes 3 days to get money out of there. So let's say you're in a bind, and man, I gotta get 100 Bitcoin out, man, or my mom's gonna lose her place, and you can't get it out. You know what I mean? Because you have to wait 3 days. No matter what, you have to wait 3 days. If you have it in the vault, you're understanding that. You know what I mean? So maybe it's not the best thing if you're gonna be in dire needs for it, but if you're like long-term holding, maybe it is okay, but hey, whatever floats your boat. I'm just here to please use your brain when you're using security. I mean, when you're thinking about security. Don't put it on a back burner. Don't think it won't happen to you. It will happen, guys. I've already got plenty of scam emails. I've got plenty of scammers in my inbox on Facebook, all over the place messaging me. I know them from a mile away. I don't trust anybody in this business. And you probably shouldn't either. At least not until you verify, okay? Trust and verify. Make sure you understand who you're talking to. Get the lowdown. Ask questions. Be that vigilant person. That's how I got where I am, and I don't expect any less from anybody else in this industry, because there are too many scammers in this industry to give you any reason to not be suspicious. You should be suspicious with every single person in this industry, including me. I don't blame you one bit for being suspicious because of the way that this industry has branded itself. There's too many scammers. I mean, heck, I got a friend request from a woman, let's say, that used to be it was a white woman that used to be a black man. And it's like, come on, man, your picture's changed from a black dude to a white girl. Come on, I'm not stupid. You know what I mean? This is an obvious attempt at something. You know what I mean? What's going on? Your name hasn't even changed to a woman name. It's still a man name. What am I supposed to think here? It's like, come on. It makes me nuts. It's like, this industry is better than that. I'm hoping that we start to scrub our name clean, but with money comes the roaches, you know what I mean? And I don't think you're ever going to get away with that, because or get away from that, because and roaches are attracted to money, or roaches are attracted to trash, so it's one of those things that you have to get used to, I guess. But being vigilant and understanding what you're seeing is probably the best thing you could do, is understanding a scam before you get sucked into it. You know what I mean? Don't let somebody message you and talk you into anything. You know what I mean? You need to be vigilant, and you need to be able to recognize the scams, because they get better and better as time goes by. But you can recognize them, and the way I was taught, don't trust anybody. Automatically assume everything's a scam. Have I missed out on opportunities? Sure, probably. But have I saved myself from getting scammed? I guarantee you that's the case, because I know it's happened at least 5 or 6 times. Otherwise, if I would have just followed through and done what they said, gave them the Bitcoin, I would have lost it. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. And I don't know about wins, but I definitely know I would have gotten messed around with and scammed. You know what I mean? If I wouldn't have. So it's the way you look at things, guys. There's two sides to everything, I guess. But I know for sure you would have lost money in this round. I don't know about gains, but I know loss. So it's one of those things that you just in this world right now, in the crypto world, it's a wild west is what people call it. So make sure you're ready to quick draw, if you're gonna be in this industry, because man, it's not the easiest thing to do, But I hope you guys learned something today. I'm going to drop some links in the comments below to my Medium page that covers some security info, and I hope you guys check it out. You know what I mean? I'm not asking for you to buy anything. This is all free. I wrote this over the last 2 years, all of this info, and Medium. I have about 29 posts, or about 29 write-ups, but some of them are about outer space, because I have an astronomy course, not astronomy course, but astronomy page that I'm building up, and man, it's growing faster than anything. But everybody likes astronomy. It's all free info that I learned over the years, and stuff I picked up that I'm still studying. I've always been an avid amateur astronomist, on top of being a Bitcoin freak. So just in case y'all see the astronomy write-ups, y'all can read them if you want, but they're mixed in with the Bitcoin stuff. So just read around it if you don't want to read the astronomy stuff. Just find the Bitcoin stuff. It's in there. But there's a lot of security, a lot of stuff on how to buy Bitcoin, stuff for noobs, explains the utility of Bitcoin, who possibly Satoshi Nakamoto is. I have a few write-ups like that. Some stuff's fun, stuff's educational. So I encourage you guys to check it out. I'm gonna leave some links at the bottom of this. But anyways, I hope you guys check out some cold storage solutions. If you want more info on them, let me know. The best ones are Ledger and Bitbox. I know that there's one called Trezor, and I've heard a lot of bad things about it though. A lot of people say I froze, I cannot get it to work, and that scares me because I don't know what's gonna happen if the device freezes like that. Maybe you won't be able to use your 24-word seed because your device is still technically working, but it's just frozen, and that scares me. I don't want something like that. I want something that I've never heard that happen to, which is Ledger Nano and Bitbox. I've never heard issues like that happening to either of those, but I have heard it happening to Trezor a lot. So I don't recommend it. I'm not going to sit here and recommend something I don't trust. So, like I said, if it works for you, it works for you. But like I said, cold storage is better than the alternative, which is, I guess, suppose you would call it hot storage. Storing it on an exchange is asking to get stolen from. If somebody gets into your account, they're not leaving that Bitcoin there. It's gone. Nobody's going to do that on cold storage. They will figure it out. If you leave it on an exchange long enough, chances are it won't be there forever. In fact, I have money I left on KuCoin, and I'm worried about it getting ripped off because I'm locked out of the account right now. I need to get into there because eventually I'm afraid somebody will hack into it because of the low degree of security I had on it whenever back then. There was no 2FA back then, and there was no anything secure wise, so I think it's going to be easy to hack into that account. The only thing I really have in there is Telcoin, and it's not worth much anyway, so good luck if you want to have it, but you know how it is, guys. I want everything that's mine, so it's one of those things that security is a definite must, guys. You need to, I do have 2FA on that account, that's why I got locked out, but 2FA is a good security, and this write-up covers it. So I want you guys to come check it out and read into depth what I've written about it, because I have a lot of info that's good for you guys to read. I don't want to sit here and read it over to you guys. It's not like this is a Dr. Seuss reading, but if you guys do want to check it out, I'll drop some links. There's about 3 or 4 write-ups I have that cover security, and a lot of them might cover a few of the same things in the different write-ups, but all of them have some beneficial info on them, and I want you guys to check it out because some of you are noobs and you don't quite understand all of the possible things you can do to secure your bag. And securing your bag is very important. Simply adding 2FA to your account you can even do it to your Facebook account. It adds a degree of security that is unmatched. You know what I mean? At least unmatched in the hot storage world. If you want to store in cold storage, that's the most secure way. But on hot storage way, the only way to do it is using 2FA. If you're going to hold your Bitcoin on Coinbase for months, use 2FA. You know what I mean? Two-factor authentication means whenever you, like I said, I always connect it to that other device, that you have to have it connected to the Wi-Fi. If somebody takes it and brings it outside and tries to bring it to their house and then use that phone to break in, they have to be able to connect it to the Wi-Fi first of all, because it's not a working phone. It's only connected to my Wi-Fi, and you have to have the phone's first entry. You know what I mean? I have a code you have to enter to get into the phone in the first place, and that's where you have to be able to get in there, and that would take them months to figure that out because it's so intricate. I make sure of that, which is another way. 2FA is great, but also just simply making your phone hard to break into is a good way. Making your email, make sure when you set up an account, make an email for it. Use Proton email, make an account with Binance. Don't use that same email to give your friends and give your family and give the people on Facebook. Say, hey, send me an email here. Because if you do that, they understand what email you're sending, you're using for your crypto. You want to have a separate email for all that stuff. If you're going to use a bank email, make a separate email for your bank. If you're going to use an email for crypto, make a separate email for your crypto. Just do it. Write all that stuff down, store it in a storage. You will thank me later. That is the best advice I've ever gotten. Because if somebody hacks into your email, you may lose that one account, but if you have multiple email accounts with different passwords, you can limit what they steal, and that's so helpful sometimes. You know what I mean? If you have your investments spread out, like a lot of people do, you can really limit what they steal, and that is very important, guys. You do not want to lose everything because you have everything on that one email address. It is not smart, guys. Limit the liability of that email address by spreading things around. Use Proton Mail, because Proton Mail is encrypted and it's free. I mean, you can even pay for an extra degree of encryption, but there is a free way, and that's the way I do it. I have a bunch of email addresses now through Proton Mail that I use for every single different account. And it sucks because I have to keep all that information somewhere, but it also makes sure that if somebody hacks into my email and they say, oh, I got Tim's email address, they may have access to one of my accounts, but that's it. They're not going to get the other ones, not unless they figure out all the other passwords and the other email. Just the names alone are so different that you have to have that list that I have, you know what I mean? And like I said, you can keep that hidden anywhere. So it's one of those things, if you're smart enough, you can memorize that stuff and never, you know what I mean? It's some one of those things that it's your world, you know. Security goes as far as the human mind can take it, and that's what you need to think about it. Is something like that. I always use a cheap burner phone to put 2FA on because it doesn't have the SIM card attached, so nobody could steal it, take it away, and use it outside of the phone, especially if they don't have the password. So always make those passwords difficult as can be. You know what I mean? If you can make it a sentence, make it a sentence. If you can make, you know what I mean? Don't make it a word. Make it a sentence. Make those people think, oh man, I can't think of it. It's got to be this word or that word when it should be 10 words. You know what I mean? That will really throw them off. You know what I mean? So, I mean, use your brain. Use some uppercase, lowercase. Make that password difficult. Don't make them taking your money easy. You know what I mean? I want you guys to always have that peace of mind. And it's just the best advice I can give you guys. And I hope you guys have a good one. I might make another video going over a little bit more security, but I just wanted to cover a little bit for you guys. These write-ups I made are pure gold. So I'm going to share the links in this comment section. But in the meantime, guys, y'all have a good weekend and enjoy yourself, but stay secure, guys. Learn about that cold storage. Go into the websites, look up Ledger's specs, look up all that stuff, and look at the you know what I mean. I told you in layman's terms what they do, but if you're a real computer nut, go figure out what they do. I mean, they're very secure, guys. I've never heard of one case of somebody busting into one of these things, and but I have heard of cases of like where Ledger's email, they get a bunch of emails from people and they got hacked and people got the email addresses and they were sending emails to people saying, hey, I need you to send me your Ledger info so we can do this and make sure you're secure. And people fell for it. They were sending like their passwords and stuff, which is stupid. Don't do that. It doesn't matter if it says they're from Ledger. Don't trust those emails. If they ask you for a password, just don't give it to them, period. That's your no, absolutely not. You don't do it. Some people did and lost their money, you know what I mean? And that's all because it was a scam. Ledger's email database got hacked, and people got the emails and realized these people all have ledgers. All we have to do is type them emails saying, hey, your ledger's been compromised. Give us your email address and your password, and we will take care of it. And people fell for it. I mean, maybe only 1 in 1,000 people fell for it, but that's all they needed to end up with 100 Bitcoin, you know? And that's all they need. They ran off with paradise, you know? It's just a shame. Because the noobs are usually the ones that fall for it, and it's a shame because they're just getting into this and they're enjoying it and they're watching their gains, and then bam, everything gets taken from them. You think that they're gonna stick around after that? I remember that one guy. This is all about security because it's about scammers, and you need to be aware. Scammers are just as bad as anything. But he He told me, Tim, you need to go take advantage of this. This guy told me he'd give me 10 Ethereum, 20 Ethereum if I sent him 5. And I said, no, that's a scam, dude. And he goes, no, it's not. I already sent him the Ethereum. He's going to send it right now. And I said, damn, I can't believe you sent it to him already. It's a scam, dude. And he got mad with me. He was like, man, it's not a scam. I'm not dumb. I went to college for, like, financial stuff. I'm smarter than you. And I was like, okay, dude, okay. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just telling you, I've seen this happen. It's a scam. And he was like, no, it's not. And I said, okay. Well, let's go to CCT, and I'll present the scenario to the entire group. I won't tell them it's you, and we'll just see what they say. And I did it, and he was watching because he was really interested after that because he hadn't got his ETH yet. Oh, I wonder why. And it's been 3 hours. Why haven't they sent it yet? And he was like, well, they're just probably delayed. And I was like, okay, well, let's ask CCT what they think. And every single person that commented was saying immediately, it's a scam. It's a total scam. And that guy started getting mad. He's like, no, it's not a scam. I said, dude, don't you see? 30 people just told you it was a scam. You don't have to believe me. Believe them. And he started tearing up. I could tell, you know what I mean? He was really upset because he lost... I think he only had like 6 ETH to his name, you know, and that was back when ETH was like about $1,000 almost. That was the first pump to its all-time high, and man, he was destroyed, and I felt so bad for him. And I remember I told him, man, I wish I could help you, and he goes, Tim, I'm sorry I doubted you, you know what I mean? I was treating you like crap. I shouldn't have done that. And he goes, but this is it for me. He goes, I'm cashing out. Whatever he had left. He cashed out and he exited the game and he never looked back. And I was like, man, I felt terrible because, man, I never seen him again. He unfriended me and everything. I guess he just wanted out of this entire industry. And I was like, man, I thought we were good friends. I wish we could talk more, but it's like he even blocked me. I don't know if he just jumped off Facebook or what. But you know how it goes. Whenever you lose money like that, he felt like he couldn't show his face because he did have a degree in like financial stuff. But he fell for a scam like that, and he feels awful about it. You know what I mean? Like, man, how can I show my face around people when they know I went to college for stuff like this? And he fell for something so stupid. And those scammers, they don't care. They'll run you through the dirt. You know what I mean? They'll make you feel awful about yourself because you fell for it. You know, it happens, guys. It's gonna happen to the best of us. It'll happen to the worst of us. So I guess we'll just have to deal with it as time passes. But I guess I'm going to end it there. I've already been talking for almost 40 minutes. But security is more important than it sounds, guys. Don't let yourself become a victim to make it matter. You know what I mean? If you let yourself become a victim, it's too late. You're already, you lost your money. When crypto is gone, it's gone. Okay? So you need to understand that. And let's do something about it. Be secure. Get cold storage, you know? Let's do this. Come on. Let's get secure. Let's tell these scammers what they can do with their, their 5 ETH for 20 ETH offers. You know what I mean? We could tell them what to do with that. I sure have a few choice words I shouldn't say on Facebook. But anyways, y'all have a good night or a good day or whatever it is. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll probably make another video today, but this is the end of this one.